Greetings, Knowledge Seeker, and welcome to Conan References in Conan Exiles Part 5. Whomever shall be found, without the courage to stick around, will disappear by morning, because this was their spoiler warning. The following reference was added in the Age of Heroes update, and it can be found deep in the jungle biome, in the bay of the city of Zelha. You can find an otherworldly plant with thick, fleshy limbs that seem to be tasting the air for something or someone to grab. Around the plant is a thick purple cloud of corruption. And if you are brave enough to get close to this hellish plant, a ghostly apparition will approach you. The ghostly visage is that of Liu Fei, sorcerer of the Celestial Emperor of Kitai.
I am Liu Fei, sorcerer to the Celestial Emperor of Kitai, master of the Five Storms, and sacred defender of the many-petaled throne.
His body is being held captive by the plant, which he calls a Yothgar plant, and asks that you help him escape it. How he got into that situation and what it will require to release him is something that you can discover for yourself, Knowledge Seeker. For here and now, know that Liu Fei is one of the two heroes that arrived with the first chapter of the Age of Heroes in Conan Exiles. These heroes can join you on your adventures in the exiled lands, and the perks they end up having can be influenced by certain actions you take during their respective quests to win them over. However, if your thirst for knowledge remains unquenched regarding them, you may want to explore these two videos from PixelCave. These are guides that will help you find each hero and how to go about influencing the perks they'll have when they join your cause. But going back to the actual reference, the hellish Yothgar plant itself, it is a reference to one of Robert E. Howard's earliest published tales about Conan, namely the Scarlet Citadel. In the story, Conan, the king of Aquilonia, has suffered a great defeat brought on by the treachery of Tsotha-lanti and his allies, and is subsequently imprisoned in a dungeon beneath Korshemish, the capital of Koth. And in that dark, damp pit of a dungeon, King Conan faces off against beasts and eldritch horrors, but he remains unconquered and keeps marching on in search of freedom. At one point, he comes across what looks like a trapped man, and we are given this description: the exact likeness of a man, twined and bound about, with the tendrils of a thick vine which seemed to grow through the solid stone of the floor. It was covered with strangely pointed leaves and crimson blossoms, not the satiny red of natural petals, but a livid, unnatural crimson, like a perversity of flower life. Its clinging, pliant branches wound about the man's naked body and limbs, seeming to caress his shrinking flesh with lustful, avid kisses. One great blossom hovered exactly over his mouth. A low, bestial moaning drooled from the loose lips. The head rolled as if in unbearable agony, and the eyes looked full at Conan. But there was no light of intelligence in them. They were blank, glassy, the eyes of an idiot. Later on, the name of the devilish plant is revealed in this snippet. "Pardon, Your Majesty. I should have thanked you for the service you have done me. I am like a man woken suddenly from sleep deeper than death and shot with nightmares of agony more fierce than hell. But I understand that you delivered me. Tell me, why did you cut the stem of the Yothgar plant instead of tearing it up by the roots?" "Because I learned long ago to avoid touching with my flesh that which I do not understand," answered the Cimmerian. And few rows further, the identity of the captive is revealed in the following snippet. "But who are you?" demanded Conan. "Men call me Pelias." "What?" cried the king. "Pelias the sorcerer, Tsotha-lanti's rival, who vanished from the earth 10 years ago. Not entirely from the earth, answered Peleus with a wry smile. As you may have deduced from those story snippets, Conan Exiles references the Scarlet Citadel, not only through the Yothgar plant, but also through the idea of having a sorcerer as its captive. That's all for now, Knowledge Seeker. Declare your allegiance by hitting subscribe, and prove it by hitting like.
Live, love, burn with life, slay and survive. We will meet again, dead man.